Do you know the legend of Charles Lee Ray? You know, the Lakeshore Strangler. Or you might know him better as just simply Chucky. It's finally time to discuss your favorite voodoo reanimated serial killing ginger friend from Tom Holland's 1988 classic, Child's Play. As a man who spends his weeks preaching to the public the benefits of horror movies and how large their impact is on the world, with me being so immersed in the genre, I must be honest. It's sometimes hard for me to see how large a film's impact is due to the fact that I'm always surrounded by fellow fans. This week I tried to step outside the box. I tried to ask myself, how popular is the Child's Play franchise? How many people on this planet Earth know who Chucky is? The answer is a lot. Chucky has driven fear in audiences all across the world for the last 33 years. I mean, even your grandma could tell you who Chucky is. I guess it's no secret that Child's Play was successful at the box office, grossing over $44 million, I might add. But finances aside, could you imagine making a movie or a character that has impacted billions of people? Literally billions. I get to see a small dose of that every week when checking the locations of our podcast downloads, and it always amazes me. I can talk into a microphone in my basement with sweatpants on, and the next morning be heard from Hawaii to France by listeners. And that makes me happy, but I'm only talking dozens of people, not billions. I'm curious to know how Tom Holland and screenwriter Don Mancini feel on what they've created. They made something larger than themselves, and to me, I find that pretty cool. Their work has lived on long enough to see Child's Play turn into a franchise with 7 sequels and a TV show. Chucky is larger than life, and his place in pop culture is matched by very few. As a horror nerd, I'm forever grateful for the joy that Chucky's given me. So what do you say we play a little game called Hide the Soul while we discuss the film that started this successful franchise? Without any further introduction, here's our take on Child's Play. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I'm your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And today, I am here with the best producer in the whole wide world, back again clapping them cheeks for another week, Mr. Ozark Mark. How are you, Ozark Mark?
What up, what up?
Oh, nothing much. It's been a fun week. Enjoyed the holiday. I'm very excited today, Mark. Very, very excited.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you really excited?
I am. I am.
can tell that you're very excited.
Yes, it was goofy, you know.
What are you excited about exactly?
Well, I'm excited about today's movie. So, tad personal, had a loss in the family earlier in the week. So I've been kind of, all my TikTok fans and, all the fans that follow us all throughout, we haven't really been prevalent this week. We've been kind of laying low. And I had a loss in the family, so I says, all right, you know what? We got to do a good episode this week to bring us out of the slums, to bring us into a good mood. And that is one of my favorite movies of all time. 1988, Child's Play. The Child's Play.
Ah, the old Chuckster, huh?
Yeah, the old Chuckster, man. Directed by Tom Holland. This is a classic. And, people know Tom Holland from movies like Fright Night, or I guess most of them know him from Child's Play now since this movie is so old. I mean, it's 1 year older than I am, but it's weird. Mm-hmm. Chucky doesn't feel that old. Like, I don't know why.
Maybe not to us, because he's one of the icons.
Yeah.
Of it. And I'm trying to find... I try to think of who doesn't know Chucky, and I feel like it would have to be anybody that's maybe 20 and younger or something these days.
And maybe
I don't know,
maybe, dude,
because I don't remember when was the most recent Chucky movie. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, like last year or the year before.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was the one they did with Mark Hamill, the guy that plays Luke Skywalker. You remember in John Carpenter's Body Bags, he was the guy that lost his eye in that skit. He was the guy that lost his eye and got a killer's eye. Well, anyways, or Luke Skywalker, obviously, but he played him, and it wasn't the reason that you're not that keen to it, Mark. Mark, you weren't even, I don't even think you were producing at the time. This was a little bit before for Sloppy Horror, but before that came out, and I watched it, and I tried my damnedest to give it like a nice review. Because like I wanted to. I really do go in with like wishful thinking, and I'm like kind of, nice by default. Like sometimes people almost might hear it like, TikToks or like whatever we're doing and think like, oh my God, you like, are you a critic, like really angry? And a lot of times we just speak in fucking hyperboles or it's a skit.
Speaking what?
Hyperboles.
Hyperboles.
Yeah, and exaggerations or, animated, if you will.
Okay, I'm going to start looking up these words that you're spewing out.
Most people know the word hyperbole.
No,
Mark.
no, they don't.
I watched TV once.
I don't watch TV.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, and I tell you. Hyperbole. Yeah, so it's
well,
like.
I got a D in English, dude. I still can't tell the difference between like pronouns and adjectives.
That was one thing I was good with.
I know what a verb is. Mm-hmm. Nouns and pronouns. Well, a noun is a person, place, or thing, but nouns and like pronouns and all those.
Yeah, a pronoun's like your name or like the name of like something is a proper noun.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went to public school and didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I'll be real frank with you too. The older I've gotten, I really do appreciate speakers, man. I'm not a politics guy, but there are certain politics people who I've watched just because I like the way they speak. Sometimes I love watching people being able to banter each other back and forth just like with words. It's like, oh, shit.
So the most recent Chucky wasn't too good, huh? And it came out a couple years ago, you said?
Yeah, I want to say it might be 2 years at this point. I want to say it was 2019, and what happened was Chucky obviously had a new voice, which is a major difference, but he was like he was like AI gone wrong. Now, the movie had Aubrey Plaza smoking. Swing for sure. And like I said, Mark Hamill. So I really wanted to like it because I love those guys. And the score was amazing. I will give that. And that's the thing I'll give all the Child's Play. Excuse me. The Child's Play scores have like they're toy sounds. I mean, it's like the sounds of toys that they made into like a beat. And it's got like a synthy 80s sound, but they're using sounds from toy. It's very unique. And if you know it,
yeah.
You probably have heard it if you're a horror fan, but even if you're not, you probably have, because I've seen it used a lot, like on TikTok sounds and things like that. It's just a very cool score, and it's unique to itself. So,
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just me getting older or what it is, but all these remakes that they're trying to make are just horrible. At least to me, like the most recent Freddy, horrible.
Oh, garbage.
This one, you're talking to me, horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's the thing. I don't know if they're really bad movies or it's just the fact that we just love the original ones so much. Because these movies from the 80s, horror movies like this one, it's just fun. Mm-hmm. Obviously it's not like a theatrical movie like they're used to these days, but it's just fun going back and watching. It's like a time capsule you're watching.
Yes.
And it's fun to watch stuff. Sometimes I watch just for the cheesy lines, the acting, and just what people are doing. Like I'm looking at the appliances in their
it's nostalgia.
It's
nostalgia.
Look at that old ass dishwasher and shit. Like, what's up with those lamps? It's just fun to watch that stuff, and you're still into the movie because there are still good acting in it too.
Yeah.
So
I agree, man. I love seeing like the old logos and merchandising and things. You're like, oh, you remember when Clorox used to look like that, or like whatever the fuck it may be.
Old cars too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So what's major with Child's Play, to me at least. Well, actually, let's do this for the folks who haven't seen Child's Play, which you may have not. I don't know the age of everybody, and maybe you're not a doll person. You didn't want to see Chucky. So in a nutshell, single mom raising her young boy, Andy. 5 years old, the little boy he wants a doll for his birthday, and it's a Chucky doll, but they're called good guy dolls. They're popular. They have a little TV show. They have all kinds. It's like Cabbage Patch Kids. And
so what makes him a doll versus an action figures like small?
Yeah.
Because I thought, boys' things were action figures and girls' things were dolls.
Well,
is that not how it is?
Well, you are correct, because I used to get pissed, like, oh, you got all your little wrestling dolls? They're fucking action figures! Say doll again! It's like, he's got his little guys in there, his little wrestling doll guys. They're not got... Stop it! What you guys playing your Pokemon? I would get so mad, dude. But anyways, Single mom taking care of her young boy. The young boy wants a popular toy, which is a doll, action figure, whatever you want to call it. But he's like 3 feet tall, so I'm willing to say doll. And his mom is working hard. It's hard to afford that. She's a single mom, but she manages to find a way to see a guy. There's a guy selling one in like a back lot outside of her work. So she goes and buys the damn thing. Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to her, this doll has a soul inside of it. The soul of a serial killer who was shot down in a toy store just, like a week before this. And he used some voodoo and put his soul in the body of the doll. So now this doll has an evil spirit in it, a serial killer's. She gives the doll to the boy. The boy starts acting weird, because Chucky starts talking to the boy because Chucky wants the boy's body. Not in a weird sexual way, but the rules of voodoo in the Chucky movies, whoever you reveal yourself to, like whoever, Chucky first talks to and shows that, hey, like I'm a real guy, which was Andy, that's whose whose body he gets to take. So the whole movie, Chucky's like trying to get Andy, the young boy. He's trying to get him and pretty much wants to kill him. He wants to use his body as a vessel, start life all over again as a young boy. Well, people start dying around and everybody thinks it's Andy because nobody obviously thinks it's the killer doll, so it adds a cool element there. The thing that makes this movie scary to me, and watching it as a kid, it freaked me out or whatever, but obviously it kind of grew it out of it in the teenage years, like not fear. I love the movies. But I kind of was able to put myself back in the shoes. I mean, it's a little boy, this whole movie, and a little boy and a serial killer. If you really want to be, call it what it is. And he's like the cutest little kid in the world, dude. He's a sweet little kid, He's like, Mom, and Chucky's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And it adds a different element of fear because, I don't know, as I've gotten older, man, it's like, the kids and the animals thing. It's like, don't fuck with them. You could kill the adult. But, like, when there's a kid in peril, it adds the suspense a whole nother level because kids are naive.
Innocent.
Yeah. And even though him and Chucky are, like, the same size, Chucky's a grown man. So it adds a whole nother level of creepiness to it, or it did to me as an adult. Obviously, I'm not like shaking my boots watching it, but it really does add a different psychology where you're like, get out of there, kid. Go on, kid.
Tell you, there's another fear thing about it is the scariest part in this movie to me is when the mom finds the batteries of the Chucky doll, and she realizes like this thing has been talking and all this shit with no batteries, and she opens it up and realizes there are no batteries in it. Like, I don't care what the hell it is, if something is operating without batteries in it or no electricity to it, that's one of the scariest fucking things.
Yeah, that's creepy, brother.
Because you don't know, that's something paranormal, whatever the fuck it is.
Something ain't right.
Dude, I watched the show Ghost Adventures, right?
Yep.
I'm that guy.
Oh,
I
watch it too.
I enjoy it. But there's one where they go to the Island of the Dolls.
Yeah, dude, that place is scary.
It's scary as hell, but when they're in there, like, I don't know, it could be Hollywood, I don't know, but what happened on screen was one of the dolls that's fucking nailed to this shed starts going off, like, randomly.
Like moving?
Yeah. Like moving and talking and shit and all that.
We gotta go, bro. We gotta get him out of here.
Burn that place down. But that's like creepy, and I don't get scared a lot at all, but that shit is fucking freaky. I don't care if it's, you
and I have a very similar response to paranormal shit where it's like, look, I'm not denying you, but I ain't fucking with you. You leave me alone.
No, you go that way.
I'm going to keep sitting here playing Goldeneye. I'm going to need you to leave me alone. All right?
I think it's funny how people like post scary videos on TikTok and shit, like ghost videos or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody in the comments is always like, I claim no negative energy. What the fuck is that going to do?
Meanwhile, you and I are like taking fucking LSD when we're 20 with a Ouija board. Like, y'all won't do something. No wonder we had troubles. We're summoning spirits and shit.
I didn't do it. You did.
Yeah. I even that's my phone case now. Is a nice little Ouija board.
Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever used a Ouija board in a while? When's the last time you used one? Was it that night?
Yeah, it probably was the night of the LSD, man. I think that kind of spooked me enough, like, to the point where I was like, all right, I'm cool with this world. I'm cool with you.
Yeah,
like,
my mom still keeps a like an old one. Like the box, it's like from like my grandma. Like
shit.
That's how old
like
it is.
Jumanji, bro. You hear the drums beating in your basement.
There's some evil shit in that board.
Yeah, dude. It's always like the thing where it's like you never... I don't know. And obviously I'm such a fan of horror and the creepy shit, like, every part of me, like, I'm not saying like wants to think it's there, wants to believe it's there, but man, there are some weird situations in life that everybody goes through where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to lean into this. I'm just going to turn this way and go fuck yourself, ghost, because I'm not in the mood today. You ever been too angry to deal with it? You're like, dude, not today. I don't
You just hear a random sound, knock it off!
Look, man, I'm not in the mood. Yep. Very creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah,
I think
that part of the
the batteries part.
Yeah, that got me a little bit. Like, it didn't scare me, but I'm like, oh, okay, I understand, because it made me think of like anything.
You know what one of my favorite parts about Chucky is?
What's that?
So what's everybody say about Chucky? Oh, if Chucky was coming at me, I'd kick him, man. I'd grab him by the hair and throw him. Chucky's smart, dog. That's not his game not to square up toe-to-toe with you. My boy is hiding out in the closet. He's going to hop out and stab you with a basketball air pump, and then he's going to beat you with a ruler. He's all about hiding. Hide and seek. Chucky is a...
He is, dude. As soon as he hits the floor, he just rolls out, and they're gone.
Yeah, man. It's the element of surprise.
Sure.
So people don't keep that in mind.
It's guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, go next time you're reaching in your closet to grab a pair of pants or something and a fucking 3-foot doll jumps out. And there's something really funny about Chucky. When he does make his moment where he's like finally pounces, he's just an array of yelling cuss words. You bitch, I fucking feel fucking bitch, I fucking kill you. Like, that's him the whole time, and it's so funny.
There's always, dude, and whether it's an infant, a small whatever it is, anybody that is small, anything small cursing, hilarious. It's fucking hilarious.
When she found out he didn't have the batteries, so, she found out that Chucky didn't have batteries, so she's like freaking out, starting to believe her son. So she lights the fireplace and she yells at Chucky. She says, "You better say something or I'm gonna fucking throw you in here." And he just turns his head like, "You fucking bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you." And he starts like flailing. It's the classic shot of Chucky where he looks all...
Yeah.
Dude, I love his angry face. It's because it was made, that's a certain doll or a certain puppet that they made. There's a lot of, animatronics going on in this. Very innovative. But I love those angry faces that they have with him, where because he's like everybody's got a little Jack Torrance in him. Everybody's got a little Chucky underneath them, where it's just like you just wanna, you're fucking bad, Chuck. He's out like, and he's his laugh. Brad Dourif is the man who voiced Chucky, great actor.
Was it he's also is that the actual actor too, Brad Dourif? Like that's like actually him.
Yeah, that's the
opening
actor.
Scene before he gets shot.
Yes, it is.
I just want to make sure they didn't flip it out with somebody else or something like that.
Yeah, and he's been in a few things that he's one of those great actors who can kind of switch the way he looks a little bit. So if you remember in Lord of the Rings, I forget the old boy's name, but he was like the real creepy dude hanging out with the king, trying to like leech on him and shit.
I never watched Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so you remember Rob Zombie's Halloweens?
Yes.
Sheriff Brackett. The dad, he was eating the pizza with his daughters. He let Laurie move in with him and his daughter. That's him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
So
I got you now.
Just a legend. Also, Exorcist 3, which is a great movie. We're definitely doing that one. Love Exorcist 3. But Brad Dourif's a great actor, and he has this cackle of a laugh, which I'm I consider myself a mediocre impersonate, an impressionist. And
Are you sure? Because you do Sandra Bullock really fucking good.
I do. Hey, it's me, Sandra Bullock. You seen my movies? I know, dude. I know, it's getting really good. A lot of that had 500,000 likes on TikTok. I'm getting really good.
Yeah,
so,
you are, man.
I'm getting really good.
All you need is a wig and you'll be good.
Hey, we can't let this bus go under 60 miles an hour.
That's not her saying it. It's Keanu Reeves.
Hey,
no,
Keanu, I'll make sure this bus is fast.
Okay, there you go. That's Sandra Bullock right
All
there.
right, yeah, all right. I'm working on it, man.
You
I said
don't need
media.
to work on it. It's perfection.
So,
Just get a wig and some makeup.
as good as I am with Sandra Bullock and many others, I'm not even going to try Chucky's Laugh because he has such a great laugh. It's evil, dude. It's pure evil incarnated. Like, if you were to play that anywhere you're at, that laugh, people are like, where is Chucky?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty iconic, man. If you could just play a laugh and 90% of the people know who it is, because Chucky is universal, brother. Chucky has huge fans in like South America and Europe. In Europe and all over. Chucky is huge, man. He has a huge following, and I just think that's wild that you could play your laugh. Even Freddy's laugh. Freddy has an iconic laugh, and I feel like, let's just say you were to play Freddy's laugh at 10 grocery stores in random locations in America, correct? I feel maybe, say if there's 100 people, maybe 20 people would know it's Freddy Krueger. I feel like 90 out of 100 would know that's Chucky's laugh. I mean,
even if you didn't get it right away, you would be like, I know that laugh from I know that laugh from somewhere.
He's so good, man. He's so good. He's a great actor, and it wouldn't have worked without him. Now, were you hip to the Curse and Cult of Chucky? So these came out maybe 2014-ish, somewhere 2014 to 16, maybe in that neck of the woods. They were straight to DVD release. They got more serious than Seed of Chucky because, Bride was kind of comedy. Seed got really comedy. Curse and Cult, same actors, and it actually had Brad Dourif's daughter. I believe her name's Fiona. I don't know. I think it's Fiona, but I'll double check on that. But his daughter, who was really great, and she was like in a wheelchair, and Chucky was trying to attack her, so it added like an extra element, like kind of like the kid, where you're like, fuck, man, get out of there. Because you can't, like, you feel for the person, you sympathize. Like, if Rambo is there, you're like, fuck, Chucky, this is going to be a fight now. Y'all are about to throw down. But when it's not an equal match, you really can. You can identify, even as silly and as fantasy as a movie as a voodoo animated doll coming to get you. When there's a young kid, or you could really feel that kind of thing. But Curse and Cult were decent. They had their own feel, man. Their own color scheme, their own everything. They are their own things, and there are some respectable, reasonable kills in there. So I'm not going to tell you they're bad movies. Chucky was changed a little bit. He's not the new one that you've probably seen, because that's probably from the new movie, the Mark Hamill one. If you've seen a new-looking Chucky,
I don't think I have.
So I'll have to pull you up some pictures and show you. Cult and Curse, they took the stitches out of his face and kind of smoothed them out a little bit, but they still respected those storylines. But they just didn't like have Jennifer Tilly and things like that in this one. It was like, well, kinda. They even brought back Alex Vincent at some point. They did have those characters, but it wasn't like as based on, I don't know. You'll have to watch them. But they were respectable. But in my opinion, the first 4 Chucky movies, all fire. 1, 2, 3, and Bride. That's a superstar lineup. Like, those are enjoyable movies. It's not even like, hey, man, I kind of like watching bad movies. Like, no, these are like good movies. Like, all 4 of these movies are respectable, good flicks.
Yeah.
Once you get into Seed and after, it kind of falls into that, like, I watch this because I like horror. This is just kind of fun, but I tell you, man, I really enjoyed the acting in this one. It seems so weird, but, like, the single mom, I mean, I don't know, maybe I just have, like, a weird affinity to that because I was raised by a single mom for a decent amount of time, but it was, like, I just think that, like, there's a lot of vulnerability there.
Yeah.
And the mom loves her son. Like, it's a good mom. And everybody's looking at her like she's a psychopath because her son's saying his doll is a killer. And everybody thinks the son's doing it.
Yeah.
So, he gets locked up. It's a very troubling, like, family kind of situation. I mean, the whole franchise leads off that. Like, eventually, he gets split up from his mom, in part 2. Like, he has to go to a fucking different family, and then Chucky finds him there at the different family and kills that fucking family. And the third one, they send his ass to military school, and Chucky fucking finds him there. Like, this dude fucked his whole life up, dude. Like, that's really traumatic. Like, oh yeah, you remember how you lost your dad, and then I made you lose your mom?
Especially to a doll.
Yeah, like, fuck, man.
I know.
I really enjoy part 3. There's a character I forget the little kid's name, but the little black kid in that movie that he gets friends with Chucky, and like Chucky's like, God damn it, and he says, "Stop cursing, Charles. Stop talking like that, Charles." Like he's calling him Charles.
Charles.
Stop cursing, Charles. It's very funny. I very much enjoyed that. But I think that's what made this work. A young Alex Vincent, he killed it as a young actor. I can barely get my kid to take the fucking trash out at 10 years old. I couldn't imagine giving a 5-year-old lines and like telling him to deliver like that. People underestimate that a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's hard for an adult to do. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You could do it at that young age. Good for that kid right there. Yeah. And these movies, I mean, these Chucky movies are always enjoyable. I mean, this Chucky is his own thing. It's his own world.
Mm-hmm. Did I show you that Ozark, Mark?
What's that?
I got to meet Alex Vincent, and he signed me the autograph or whatever, but I picked that picture. I don't know, man. It just this kind of displayed that vulnerability, I feel like. Just little kid holding a
serial killer doll.
Yeah, and which Alex was really nice because... sorry, tucking that back there. When I walked up to him, he was like kind of like on a break, and he didn't have anybody in his line. He was like eating this Chipotle burrito in a bowl. He's just, I don't know why that was.
A burrito in the bowl?
Burrito bowl. Which,
okay.
Yeah, I
thought you meant an actual burrito in the bowl. That would be weird.
Yeah, that would be really strange. But he says, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "Dude, thought you were eating. Like, why would you be sorry?" Like, like just one of those, like, I'm not. Because sometimes that pisses me off. You see somebody at a convention or like whatever, and people have no fucking couth about them. They're just like, "Hey, oh my God, my dad died and he liked you." You're like, brother, take your time. He's walking to take a piss. Like, trust me, your little fangirling will not be what he remembers. Like any actor or actress, like just talk to them like human fucking beings. Like that's probably square number one. Even if you're like really pumped or excited, just like be respectful if somebody's fucking eating or like, I don't know, like I'm not gonna, "Oh my God, dude, I love you." I'm like, well, all right, I'm eating. Is that I'm here with my family or something, be chill. But he was super nice. He was like, no, let's take the picture. He took a picture with me, and I got to hold the original Chucky. The original Chucky from the movie. I got to hold it. I'm sure there were multiples, but that was the one that he got to keep for his whole life, and that's it.
So, when you held the Chucky doll...
Fully erect, fully hard.
Yeah, what did you do about that? Because you were in public. So did you fold it up and like held it with your belt? Did you go down one leg and hold it in your pocket? What did you do?
Actually, Mark,
did you pre-tape?
I didn't give you full disclosure on what happened, okay? So this convention was like on March 29th, 2018. It was Horror Hound in Cincinnati, okay? Somebody can fact check me, and they'll find out that it's real. So, at the time, my fiance was 9 months pregnant. Okay?
That's pretty far.
Very far. Obviously, she doesn't mind me doing conventions. I went up there with my friends, hanging out, doing the thing. So, I'm up there, and she calls me, and she says, "I don't know. I might have this baby today." And I'm like, fuck, I didn't drive up there. I went with friends. But the people I were with, they were very supportive. And they're like, "We have to take you somewhere, dude. I'll leave right now and come back." I was like, "Okay, cool. I was like, well, she said just wait for the phone call. Because Rachel, she didn't know how she felt. Mm-hmm. So I was like, on pins and needles. And at that point, like after we got off the phone, and I kind of split up from the friends. So I'm just kind of walking around by myself in this like, fuck, I'm about to have a kid. There's 3 kids now. I'm thinking like all this shit, right? And then like that's when I stumble upon Alex Vincent eating his fucking burrito bowl. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Dude, don't be sorry. I'm emotional right now. There's a lot of stuff going on." So if you were to see me in that picture, because it's posted on my social media, me with Alex Vincent, my daughter wasn't born till the 2nd, but at that moment, like if you look, you can see it in my face where I'm like, I'm like embracing the moment, but you could tell my brain is 100% elsewhere. Like, so that's a fun little story about that. But he's a great guy, man. I mean, I don't know him personally, but every time I see him out and about or see his interactions, he's a super nice guy. And I'm glad they brought him back for Curse and Colt, and they keep him in this world. I mean, he built this fucking franchise.
Sure.
He built the franchise. That adds so much. When you watch Scream, I'll come back to C5. Oh, you're telling me Nev Campbell and fucking David Arquette and Courtney Cox, all these people are coming back? Yeah, I'll come. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what's going on. It's the same people.
Yeah.
You can I like that, man. You're talking decades on. That's hard to do. If you look at horror movie sequels, it's hard to get somebody to come back to a movie a year later. You're telling me you got like 20, 30 years strong? You're rocking, man. That's very cool. Very cool. In any franchise. I don't care what you're talking about. So, Chucky's a legend, man. He lives on. People know about him. Like, in this, even like with the opening of this episode, like I felt like, some movies we really do try to lay out the, real thick of it because I know some people really haven't watched them. And then we see that. People will say, hey, I'm watching this week. Thanks for the recommendation, yada, yada. Big horror heads have seen it. But Child's Play, man, this reaches out. Like, your mom's probably seen Child's Play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom's probably seen Child's Play.
If we go just to random people on the street,
yeah,
I guarantee you more than 70% of the people will say they know Chucky or they've seen Child's Play.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's very impactful. It's one of those characters that doesn't even, you could really start to rank it. Like, he's bigger than Rambo. More people know Chucky than Rambo, for sure. Go ask any Gen Z kid who Rambo, show them a picture of Rambo and show them a picture of Chucky. Guarantee they all know who Chucky is. Guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee it.
He's an icon, man.
A lot bigger than people give him credit for. And the same, too, along with Alex Vincent. Great to have Brad Dourif along for that whole time. And I you know what I really respected, too? You're not allowed to yawn. You are not allowed to yawn.
I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want.
No, you can't. You can't. Look, this is upsetting.
Look, you keep talking to me like that, okay? This episode will never see the light of day.
It's still real to me.
No, it's not.
Look here.
You're not allowed to drink water. How about that?
I'm going to Triple H spit water all over this microphone.
Don't do that. You're fucking...
Game.
No, you eat nasty shit. Do not get your fucking spray shit all over my area.
Look, I floss at least twice a day. At least twice a day, okay? Mouthwash.
Do you use real floss or do you use the floss tips?
Both.
Plastic things.
Use the plastic things when I'm in the car, You have to. Oh, that's an annoying feeling. That'll ruin my day. My teeth are too large. You get a whole fucking French fry caught in there.
They're nice. You have nice teeth.
You're messing with the splitter.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. But why don't you tell me something that you maybe know about this movie?
Wait, it's time?
Yeah. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. We're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie here. So remember, you may know what we know, but if you don't know what we know, you're about to find out what we know. And then together we're going to know. And then you're going to, have the explosion in your body that you know something about this movie. So, why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie here?
I've been waiting a very long time for this.
So have I. Go.
So,
hurry up.
I got a couple for you, okay? There was going to be some other titles for the name of this. That happens a lot. They'll write the movie, any movie, and then they'll come up with the title later. They'll have like a fake one, like a rough title. Initially, they were going to call this movie Batteries Not Included. And I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool. I really fucking like that. You know what the other name was going to be? Was Blood Buddy. blood buddy. Because
the old BB, huh?
yeah, because it was going to be like, instead of voodoo, they were going to do it some kind of blood transfusion kind of thing, where they kind of connect.
Blood transfusion.
Yeah, they touched blood. I guess Andy was supposed to have blood on his cut, and then touched. Chucky was, you know how he could bleed. And they were going to mix, and I don't know.
It better have been the same blood type. You would have ran into issues there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
give me
that's
a
a good fact. You want a fact here?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a fact here. So the dolls, Chucky, okay? When there were the actual scenes, where the dolls actually move in here. He was controlled by a remote control. It was like a robot, animatronic type of feel here. But
just one guy running this damn door?
Will you shut up and let me get to the end of the fact before you spew your side of this?
Well, I'm just curious.
You're always interrupting me.
I'm
trying to
curious.
tell you that no, it wasn't just one guy operating the animatronic Chucky doll. It was 11 people. That's 11 people at the same time. 11 different controllers controlling Chucky. Now, how would you're probably thinking like, yo, how can 11 people control one thing? Well, it's like one person took the leg, another person took a hand, the eyebrows, the teeth, the nose, the ears, the eyes, everything. All controlled by separate people. You gotta be in sync for that, brother.
Yeah,
you gotta
all
be in sync for
walk
that.
and talk together, because I imagine
yeah.
there was a leash on it. It wasn't like you were doing it from a computer. You were walking with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy, the lengths that they go to make these things.
Yes. So let me tell you something. My other fact kind
And
of
the
ties
movements
in.
were pretty good, too.
They were very good. They were very good. It looks. There's a lot of times he looks very believable, but here's another little reason why, though. Here's another fact. There were parts in this movie, especially the fire stunts, where they used a little person to play Chucky, like in an outfit, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah, you could tell kind of like when he's going up the fire escape, or there's one where like he goes to the edge of somebody's body,
Right.
Whatever. It's part of the fun trying to find those things out. You know what I'm saying?
So it
here?
was a Gail something. I don't remember the name of the actor or the actress who did this, right? But famous actress. But there was another, Alex Vincent, the player, the guy who played, little Andy.
Yeah.
His sister was on the set. He had a little sister. Okay, she was younger than him. And he's 5 years old. Well, there's a part where Maggie, the babysitter, the mom's friend who's watching young Andy.
Yeah.
And that's our first death from Chucky, kind of, So there's a part where she's down the hallway and Chucky's chasing her. That's Alex Vincent's little sister dressed up like Chucky. And I guess the other person was too tall, even though his little person still didn't look right as far as ratio on the screen, so they needed like a smaller.
Yeah.
So they, took advantage of his. Well, that's the wrong way to say that. I don't want to say take advantage of his little sister, because it just sounds,
Yeah, that sounds a little creepish these days.
Yeah, it sounds
you
weird,
can't
but
say that,
they utilized the fact that
there
there
you
was
go.
other kids on the set, and they
Utilize
said,
is the perfect word for this situation here.
You want a job? You want a job?
You want to get utilized?
Yeah. Well, I guess
That sounds kind of creepy too.
I got another little tidbit too.
Oh, do go on, please.
So there's a part, obviously it's sad. There's no dad in this movie. There's no, no pops is not around. He's not out mowing the lawn. He went to the gas station to get cigarettes. Gone.
never came back.
Finito. Curtains, baby. He's gone. No more. Show's over. So it's kind of sad.
He had to go return some videotapes.
Right. Well, actually, I think he died, is the way they framed it, but they don't really fully kind of get into it. But there's a part where, inside of the house there, Andy and his mom are there, but there's a family portrait of 3 people. There's the dad there, okay?
Is there?
Yeah, and the
Okay.
dad, that's a cameo from Tom Holland, the director. I mean, it's just a picture of him, He's the missing dad. He's the man who went and got cigarettes and never came back.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you remember that book, I Spy?
Yeah.
These cameos. It's like,
Yeah.
you sit there, you gotta wait for them, then, oh, you spot him. What a fact. What a fact.
I got one more little tidbit.
Of course you do.
Look, guess what?
What?
Inside of Child's Play,
Yeah.
there was not Mankind, Mick Foley. He did not play in this movie. And that's all I got. Well, people might have, I'm just trying to put stuff at ease. Put you at ease throughout your day. Let you know.
Well, it worked here. That was the water in no here, so you had a wee no-gasm. So, go take it easy.
Man, I feel so smart. I do, man. Every week, there's just, I feel like I know a movie, and then there's just more. But wait, there's more.
I feel very educated. I feel very good about myself, knowing more than what I just did 30 seconds ago.
Don't call a repairman. That'll cost you thousands.
I hate you. You know the things that make me laugh. I can't pick up anytime something breaks. And I try to fix it myself. I just say that don't call a repairman, that'll cost you thousands.
Flex Seal.
That
guy straight spray painted a fucking screen door and used it on the bottom.
I love how he just sprays stuff on things and uses it as a boat. Like that's his bit. Every time.
Good stuff.
Crazy. That guy needs to expand. He ain't no Billy Mays. I'll tell you what. Billy Mays could sell me anything on this planet.
Yeah.
He could sell me a used old McDonald's fucking quarter pounder box that he found in the dumpster. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he definitely could. Now, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And this is a Child's Play themed question here.
Mm-hmm.
When watching this movie, it's not a very long movie. I mean, I'm not saying it's super short, but it's just like the hour and a half or like hour and 40.
That's the perfect amount of time for a movie.
Sure. What's your favorite part? If you had to say your favorite part in all of it, I don't care if it's a humor part, a scary part, whatever. Just what do you think your favorite part is?
I have a couple, but I'll just go with the old couple in the elevator.
Yeah. Ugly doll.
Because I swear, it's I see myself in the future with old people, and it reminds me a lot of my grandparents, because the way they used to argue, that just always used to make me laugh.
Bickering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they get in the elevator, and Chucky's in there, in the doll position, going up the elevator trying to get Andy, because he ran back to his house after this asylum escape or whatever. And it's a typical wife thing to go and find something that does not belong to you and bring it into our situation, which we don't need to. She goes, "Oh, look, somebody left their doll here." And I commend this man. He's like, "Well, leave it alone. It doesn't belong to you. Whoever it is, they'll come back and get it. It's not our problem." You know what I mean?
I do love hearing those stern old men that would just "What's the matter with you?"
Yes.
Just...
Absolutely, because that will be me in about 10 years, and I'm only 30.
Right.
So I'm already on that route. But and then they're getting out of the elevator, and she's leaving, and she looks at the Chucky, and she goes, "That's an ugly doll." and you just hear Chucky going up the elevator, "Fuck you."
He's got personality, man.
Yes.
He's like Freddy.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. That's my favorite part. That's the part I'm going to remember the most from this movie. But I also like that car scene where it's the detective and Chucky's in the car.
Yeah.
And he's just starting to stab him through the chair and everything.
That's my favorite part.
That's pretty intense.
And that guy, Chris Sarandon, I think is his name, Chris Sarandon, and he was in Fright Night, so he had a relationship with Tom Holland already. He added a sense of believability because he was that, the moms liked him. Oh, he's smart. He's a good guy. And he did. He added that, I'm here to keep everyone safe. He was a legit, no pun intended, he was a good guy. But it's a hard thing to wrap your head around. But then eventually he starts to believe her, and just in time. But that's probably my favorite is when Chucky's in the car. And that's that vulnerability thing. What are you going to do? You're on the highway doing 80 miles an hour. I'd just kick him. Oh, you would. You would. Okay. Well, I would be curious to see that. Because if a McDonald's cup in my backseat rolls while I'm driving, I'm like, the fuck was that? There's no one in the car with me.
You're getting stabbed, attempted to get stabbed going 80 miles an hour. Me sneezing is horrible. I'm driving.
And he's laughing at you.
Oh, yeah. And you don't know where he is because you're trying to fuck, you know what I mean? Oh, dude, just changing the song on the radio sometimes while driving is somewhat difficult. Yeah. I don't know how ladies, like, they'll be driving down the highway, putting eyeliner on and makeup on and taking a pointed brush and poking their eyelashes 80 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour. How do you do that?
I don't know.
I don't think it's amazing. It's a superpower. It really is.
Man, I got one hand for my shifter, my Mountain Dew, fucking smoking cigarettes, text messages, and radio stations and everything, man. I'll be flying up. Can't stop me.
So your favorite,
I
your
like the
favorite
cars.
scene is the car.
I like that car scene a whole lot.
He almost got stabbed in the nuts there, didn't he?
He did.
I like his face too. He's like, "Whoa!" Like that's real fear in a man. Like, "Whoa!" Anytime something gets near your balls.
Yeah,
like my dogs step on my balls almost every day. They'll jump up on my balls. Mm-hmm. When I get home, they're the perfect height to jump up on me and hit me in the balls. Like that face. Your ball is about to get destroyed. Very real, very funny.
I think you made a good point too, in the fact that saying like the way that Chucky moved looked very gracefully. It looked well done. It didn't look wonky or choppy.
It kind of looked like how you would expect a doll that was alive to move.
Yeah, he's kind of limited to his own, like the way he's constructed,
right.
But it looked very smooth. I thought that ending sequence is pretty cool too, like where after he burned and then he kind of came back. Very creepy, man. Very creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then it's kind of a fun win. I do like that. You don't have to have. Obviously, Chucky comes back. So I like when horror movies like try to give you a good ending and then they end it bad. But then there is something organic about, like, say, The Last House on the Left or like the end of like Child's Play, where it's like mom or dad gets the victory. And you're like, all right, fuck yeah. Like, you guys aren't killers, but you had to become a killer to beat the killer.
Right.
It's kind of a fun, like heroic kind of thing.
It's just a traditional movie story, man. Works.
It does.
So it always works.
Fun times it is. Fun times Chucky's is.
Fun times Chucky's this is. Now, let's talk about, if you were to rate this, Christian Ramey, you know what I'm talking about.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Hey, man, how y'all doing? This is Sloppy Horror Rating, buddy. We're here to talk about a movie here, the Child's Play, if you catch my drift there, cowboy. And now we're going to sit here and talk. Yes, I knew I'd get you. I got him. Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating here. We're here to rate the movie Child's Play. So, if this is your first time here, hello to you. We rate this movie. Christian Ramey, he's a horror nerd. He knows everything about horror movies, so he's got a good rating. Trust his rating. It's a good system.
Thanks, brother.
The system works by 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category worth 1 point for a total of
10 points.
Altogether.
10 points altogether,
See,
brother.
Look, you don't like being interrupted, do you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying
to
help.
You don't like being interrupted, do you? I just interrupted you. How's that feel?
I've made mistakes.
Yeah, well, you think about that. So let's go on to the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
You know what's neat, Mark? This has happened for very few movies of ours. Most movies that we've rated and reviewed, I enjoy all of them, but I think on them really hard. But some of the classics that are really close to my heart, like when we've done like Halloween or Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, I've walked into the rating blind. And I have not thought of what I would rate this for casting until like this exact moment. And I'm being very honest. And this is a strong category. Brad Dourif. It's been breaking my balls all episode. I'm not thinking the actress's name, but his mom was a great mom. Like, she was a good mom. She worked really hard, and it was believable. Very believable. I believed that was his mom. Like, it wasn't like, this is fake.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that looked like a real family. That looked like a real situation.
She had the real mom vibes going on.
Absolutely. And Maggie, her, like, the aunt, like, the friend of mom, who's like the aunt.
Yeah.
That seemed very real to me. The creepy guy who sold her the doll, And I'm just kind of listing off some of the actors and actresses, and these were major parts of the movie, but I'm just saying in the world of Hollywood, maybe their names aren't as well known. But in this picture, everyone gels very well together. I'm not saying this is the most elite. I mean, Brad Dourif is really high up there. Chris Sarandon's pretty high up there. And Alex Vincent's well known from this movie. But outside of that, I mean, you're not really dealing with crazy well-known people. But I'm telling you, man, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. I'm saying everyone in the movie was an actor, regardless if you're A, B, C, D list.
It's the same philosophy where, I mean, you could have, it's like, think about, okay, Christian Ramey, let's think about basketball for a second, okay? Now, you don't have to have an elite team of superstars to get a fantastic team to work together and make something great.
Yeah, you need some role players, man. Just some people that are willing to work hard.
These people came together. They're actors in this movie. They are a team. They got the mission done. What'd you say?
I agree completely. And I'm not just pontificating, because, I mean, there's some of these classics, even a Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever. Obviously, I love them, but it's my job to kind of paint them and make them look nice, to advertise them to people who haven't seen them, to watch them. Or maybe if you've seen it 100 times, maybe you can go back and watch it that 101st and look at it in a different light, or with more appreciation. That's all I really is the main point and picture with this. I never give false ratings, but some are just so concreted, like even like a Halloween, where you're just like, man, you know, you're here. I know you're a solid whatever. But say Child's Play, it kind of made me scratch my head thinking, like, opening up. That's why I said that. But it has to be a 3. I mean, these people work great together. Child's Play's like so well known, but like kind of underrated. The original Chucky is like his own standalone thing, but this picture, watch it please, and tell me that it doesn't have great casting.
Absolutely, very good, very well said, very well said.
Sorry if I carried off there for a second.
You lost yourself there, but it's okay because you're talking about something relevant here. So 3 out of 3 for casting. Now we're going on to the next category, and that is kills.
Okay.
Kills.
So we're getting into a realistic rating here. Now, one thing Chucky always has on his side is innovative kills. Most of his kills are done from a discreet location, or he has to be secretive, and he has to make it fun. Even into like Bride of Chucky, you remember when he kills John Ritter in his van with all those nails, and he like pulls it and he makes him look like Pinhead, pops out in 2, gets the lady with the basketball pump. There's all these hiding and tricks, and if we're just talking strictly the first one, I think there's like a total of 4 deaths maybe.
There's the...
Well, Chucky gets shot in the beginning, real Charles Lee Ray.
So that's a death. Then you got the aunt.
Yeah, Maggie.
Then you got his friend.
Eddie Caputo.
Exploded in the house.
Uh-huh.
And then you got the doctor getting electrocuted. So that's 4, right? It's 4? No,
yeah,
and the voodoo guy.
And the voodoo guy.
So that's 5.
Yep. And then Chucky himself at the end.
Yeah. So that's 6. So that's spread around a little bit. That's a 6-pack. That'll get your night going good, right?
Mark, I've never heard it stated like that. And I really like that.
I'm on fire today, dude.
That's sassy.
You have no idea.
A 6-pack of kills. Yes.
Oh yes.
I've never looked at movies as like in increments of kills, but like for the, you know, hey man, I crushed a 30-pack last night. You were watching some Wrong Turn or something, something fun, like something crazy. But you know, if you just are in a mood for a 6-pack, Child's Play, like that's your.
You're gonna have a good night with just a 6-pack. Tell me you don't have a good night without a 6-pack. All right, 6-pack gets you right there. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So what's your rating on
the
this?
old 6? So this is a horror movie. Brought to me. There's no other Chucky movies. I'm looking at this all on its own. We've got fun kills, but nothing crazy graphic. I'm going to give it a 2. I think my eyes are so used to a brutal kill, because even say something like Elm Street, where it isn't a large kill count, but we still do have large buckets of blood being sprayed out of a bed. We have a girl getting dragged along the wall. There's like a little moments of panic, and Child's Play has some very clean, fun deaths. I like how he got his buddy with the gas, blew up the house. The voodoo guy comes in with the voodoo doll, stabbing the voodoo doll. A lot of fun, pushes Maggie out the window. All different, all creative, all doing his own thing, but just not as brutal enough for me to give it a 3. But I think that kind of gives Child's Play the taste that it is, because it is subtle.
Yeah.
It is almost a family horror movie. Not something you want to show a kid like super young, but I was pretty fucking young when I watched this, and I know people watch this young.
Yeah, there's nothing gory, really, too gory about it.
Yeah, so I'll give it a solid 2.
Yeah, okay. So that is 5 out of 10 after 2 categories. Going on to the third category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
Okay.
How scary is this movie?
We're going to take the context out that it's been out thus long. For the old films, I don't just try to say how scary is it if we were to watch it tonight, because you and I are very numb to that. Like if I go up to a drunk on the street and say, how drunk will this Four Loko get you? It'd be a lot different answer than if I asked a 16-year-old kid. So we're kind of numb to certain things. So I'm looking at this like the impact it had as far as fear. People were scared shitless of Chucky in the 90s. This came out in 88, but his largest impact was in the 90s. People were afraid of Chucky. Now, once you kind of got to like teenager status, it was more of like, oh, he's cool, he smokes weed and he like fucks another doll. And he's cool, man. Everybody does, he's doing his thing, man. He's like, and he has the funny, witty, he had the Freddy syndrome.
Yeah.
Got a little Hollywood, but that was the nature of the beast at that time. So it's not just on these guys. They weren't bad films. In 1998, the world wanted Bride of Chucky. That's what people don't understand. Like, that's what the world wanted then. It's a different fucking world. Like, things that are quote-unquote cringy now, we're not at that moment. Chucky had a lot of fear in the 90s. People were afraid. People did not like dolls. Now, I would say within the last decade or even 5 years, it's common to see people with Chucky dolls or something. But if you had a Chucky doll in like 2002 and put that in somebody's bedroom, that'd be an incident. Like that would have been
an incident, dude. Dolls are still fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Just a regular
Fuck
creepy
yeah.
ass doll are fucking creepy. They are. And then you add this to it, where it's a very recognizable, scary doll. People would be freaked out about that.
Absolutely. Why do I always say absolutely, Mark? Is that one of my favorite words?
Absolutely.
Totally. So, I have to give this a 3 on
3.
fear. And once again, I'm not talking in a 2021, a person's shoes. I'm saying the overall impact that this movie had and how much did he scare people in the world. And I know that there were people who ran up their basement stairs for years because of Chucky. I know there are people who are still afraid of Chucky. I know people who don't like dolls. It's kind of like Pennywise and It. That has to get a high fear meter just because people are so afraid of that already.
Yeah.
Like, some people, you show a picture of Pennywise and they're like, they are convulsing. They're that afraid. But to you and I, how scary is Pennywise? You're like, -10. I love that guy. Like, tell him to come over, man. I'll bring him some dumb kids to kill.
Yeah.
But you and I are different. So I have to look at this in a worldly, and this is a very universal movie. I'm not kidding. Big in South America, all kind of places.
Very good, very good. So that leads us to a total score of 8 out of 10 so far with the final category, which is why we even make this category. But we still have it. Probably because we got to even it out to 10 points, because 10 is a strong number.
Yes, and just a quick tidbit, Mark, because we do review new films as well.
I know.
You know that.
I know. I'm aware of that. So, does Christian Ramey fuck with this movie? This movie here, do you fuck with it?
Oh, Marcus, I've been waiting so long for you to ask me this question because there's so much blood in this picture. There's no love inside of this, and that's what's wrong with the world. I can't watch these kind of pictures because I know there's good people out there. I know people love each other. Who would watch something so horrible? Oh, it was terrible. Terrible movie. We left halfway through it.
This movie is one of the best movies to ever exist in cinema. What do we say all the time, Mark? Movies aren't that old. You feel like there's billions of movies, and there are. But I'm saying which movies are up here? Not the Mount Rushmore. That's a small list. But I'm saying
Pillar. It's a pillar.
in the museum of movies and film in general that are locked up and that are, and there is, like Texas Chainsaw is in there. There are certain pictures that change the way movies are made, advertised, and just change pop culture, change the way people talk. And you can't really, Blair Witch falls in that category too. There's just certain pictures that are larger than themselves just because they hit the world hard. Chucky is up there. Child's Play. This is what kicked it off, man. One of the best movies to ever exist.
Very good, very good. So that gives us a total of 9 out of 10 rating for Chucky, Child's Play, 1988. 9 out of 10. Very good movie. Very good movie.
It's him.
I suggest you watch it if you have not seen it. It's on Tubi for free, but there's ads. I know some is that what it's called?
It's Tubi.
What's it called?
Tubi and Tubi.
It's called Tubi?
Yeah.
I thought it was called Tubi.
That sounds cooler though.
It does sound cooler. See, I say things that sound cooler anyway. And that's not, hey, it's on YouTube. Somebody put the whole movie. It's in 9 parts, but it kicks off right as it. So,
yeah. And this is also, too, you and I are always very good about telling the folks where they can watch it and usually maybe get around certain paywalls. But I'm not going to lie to you. If you went out and bought a fucking hard metal Blu-ray disc that cost $40 to watch this, you won't throw the movie away.
No, you won't.
You'll
turn it on Halloween. You'll get the whole projector outdoor thing, and you'll do that around the fire. You can this movie is it's going to be a good one for the collection, and it's going to be a good movie for years and years and years and years to come.
It's like a few months older than I am.
Sure.
This movie is like maybe 4 months older than I am.
Yep.
It has so much rewatchability. And I'm a film buff, so I can watch, Casablanca and still immerse myself or be able to put myself in the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't trying. Like, if you're watching this, you're not like, oh, God, this is so old. No, there's not that much of that in this movie. You watch it and you're saying, oh, okay. You can it's a film. It's a picture. You're watching a show.
Yeah.
It's not, this is old, man. This is corny.
Nah, get over that aspect of it because it's really done well.
Well, maybe we unlocked something there, Ozark. Maybe if we retrace back to what we're saying, as we were saying about the Elm Streets and the other kills, they're a lot more adventurous. The Freddys, the Jasons, the Michaels, the kills are a lot more adventurous with the gore, but they don't always stand up to the test of time as far as looking realistic and CGI.
Well, that's what makes them fun, though, for some people. That's what broadens the horizons of people that have the ability to watch it, because it's not that gory, over the top, and inappropriate.
Yeah, man.
There's just cussing, which nobody gives a fuck about cussing anymore, really.
Child's Play is done very kind of subtly with its kills, so I think that adds a lot of rewatchability. Certain old movies, I'm not even talking horror movies. If you just have good actors talking to each other, you're like, I can watch this. What are they talking about? What's going on? Like,
mm-hmm. And this movie has that.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
You know what's funny, though? There's this one part in the movie that gave me anxiety, kinda.
Okay.
Now, it's another sign of getting older, because you can definitely tell that this is a single mother house. Right off rip. It's in the beginning scene where Andy's up in the morning. It's his birthday. This little son of a bitch. Tell me you don't just get
How did
dad
we not
vibes.
talk about this?
How'd you not get like dad vibes, just wanting to smack the shit out of him for making a bowl of cereal, overflowing the thing, getting cereal all over the place.
A hunk of butter?
No, we're not even to that yet. He's still putting milk down in the bowl. It's overflowing. He puts 2 pieces of toast in the toaster, walks away from it, and then it's burning. So now now he's burning toast, and he just puts a whole slab of butter. That's like, oh my God, that's like $2 worth of butter right there. Butter's not that expensive, okay? on this burnt-ass toast, and then he's walking it through the house, dripping it everywhere. Can you imagine the cleanup as a father?
I see why the dad left.
Oh, my God.
I see why he
Yeah,
left.
because he woke up to a fucking smorgasbord of shitty breakfast every morning. Oh, man.
How many times I gotta tell you?
Oh, dude, I'm not even a father. I'm not even a father, but I'm felt a dad mode going there, wanting to smack the shit out of this kid.
You know what's really funny, too? Like, you obviously don't react in those situations as badly as you think you would. But
No, you don't.
that's one of my favorite parts of movies, TV shows, outside of horror, inside of horror, are dad freakouts. They're just really funny to me. Like,
They're always funny.
you remember in A Nightmare on Elm Street too, like, cause the dad the whole time's like, I want you to get up there and clean your room. You know, he's like, it's the same guy from, it's Clu Gallagher. It's the same guy.
Yeah.
But there's a part where the bird blows up and it looks really cheesy and corny or whatever, and the dad's trying to figure it out, and he's like checking the gas on the stove, and he's like, I tell you what it was, goddamn firecrackers. And he's like, it wasn't firecrackers, Dad. And he like lifts his head up and hits it on the damn thing, and he's like, just. It's like such like everyone's seen, if you had a dad for any moment in your life or seen a dad in action, like he gets those random like he buries
An
it.
angry dad is always hilarious. It always is.
No, everyone laughs at me when I'm angry in my house. Like I'll
Yeah.
be pissed off and Rachel will be like, okay, and I'm like, don't laugh at me.
You understand why? Because they're just fucking funny, man. I'm telling you.
I know, I do.
Especially when a dad is yelling at somebody else, it's hilarious. 'Cause it's not you. Like, you know what I mean?
There's a really funny video I recommend like the whole world to look up or to find. It's like this grandpa, it's two grandsons with this grandpa, and you may have seen it, but he's at like a toll booth and his money isn't accepted. It won't accept in there. And the lady's telling him like, sir, you got to put in another quarter. And he's like, ma'am, I'm trying. Ma'am, it's not taking. Ma'am. Goddamn quarter. And then like as he's pulling off, he's like, goddamn fucking thing. God, fuckers. Like, it's so funny. And he's like the sweetest old guy, but he just drove to his limit. And his like sweet grandsons are in there just cracking up. Ma'am. He's like being so hard to try to be nice. It's really funny. But yeah, those dad freakouts, man, they're classics.
Oh, I could watch those all day. All day.
Me too.
Well, now I'm clearing my tears because I'm laughing so hard. Any words for the people as we get the fuck out of here?
So, yes, there's a lot of words.
Oh, great.
I won't be alive next week. No, I will. I very much hope so. Actually, I don't know. I can't predict the future. But if I am alive, what will be happening, Mark?
No.
We're going to have some merchandise. Merchandise for all the folks out there, like some t-shirts. It's going to be coming up. Ozark and I have been staying up late, working hard on making these things happen, perfecting the things. Because him and I, we're not going to lie, we're a little bit of perfectionists on things, so it's hard for us to just release shit. So we're going to have some merchandise out for you boys and girls. There's going to be some fun going on. And then I also, too, at some point, we will have like another news episode because there is a lot of stuff popping off that's going on. And sometimes I get distracted talking about in the old movies because I kind of want to segue to something new that's going on, but it almost deserves its own. So eventually we're going to present some news for you, and there are some new horror flicks out. I just recently watched Fear Street, so did Ozark Mark. Okay, we're going to give you guys a nice little review, our touches and feels on that. Might not be a full episode because it's a new movie. Maybe, but I don't know. Sometimes it's fun. I kind of enjoyed that Conjuring 3, how it was just a ending segment and we just wrapped up with that.
Sure.
So maybe we'll do some stuff like that, but there's some new flicks coming out. There's new movies out. Ozark and I are going to talk about them. New, old, horror news. We're all about it. And you're also going to see our asses out at these conventions. At the end of this month, we'll be out in Indianapolis at the Days of the Dead. Sloppy Horror will be in the house. If you see us, come say what's up. And we're going to be all around, man. So I'm really pumped for the summer going into the fall. Help us make it fun, boys and girls. And also, I don't know where you guys are listening, but seriously, if you guys are listening on Apple, I would very much appreciate if you guys can give us a review. Whatever you feel, honest review. Would be much appreciated. So, hell yeah, that's all I got to say. It's just big stuff from Sloppy Horror, so you guys stay tuned.
Big stuff.
Big stuff.
Big stuff.
Big stuff. Wow. So, wow, that's a lot of big stuff. It's a lot of big stuff. I don't know if we're going to be able to get all the stuff done with this guy around.
All right, boys and girls.
It's time. We're out.
We'll see
Have
you
a good
next
week.
time.